Welcome back, everybody. Take a break with Stephen Shamus.
Good to see you, my friend. How's it going today?
Every day is a good day above the earth.
What's special on your shirt, Alex?
This is it's a monogrammed shirt from a pub in UK.
You're dressing up. You're dressing up for
the
the
old
show, huh?
Fighting Cocks. Yeah.
Got it. Well, happy Jewish New Year.
Yeah, you as well. Obviously.
Hope you have a safe fast.
Yeah. I can't. I think I've gone 5 hours. It's the longest I've ever gone fasting. Even then, I think I had a couple peanuts.
It's not exactly fasting. So,
yeah, I know. I can't do it.
So what do we got today, Alex?
Oh my goodness, so much stuff, so much good stuff. We're gonna go down some kind of like independent Marvel, and then like just some crazy stuff. We're gonna start with Elsa Bloodstone, who's been moving up in the world. Mr. Billy Tucci's Oblivion Song. We're gonna go right back, talk about a little bit more Toxin, Nubia, the real one, just like her book says, and then Scud, the Disposable Assassin.
Yeah. So as we're seeing is, I think you're starting to see the nostalgia craze back from the 80s and 90s and whatever, from when we were growing up. You saw it with the sports cards. It usually follows not too far after. So players that aren't even in the Hall of Fame, the Don Mattingly's, the Dwight Goodens, the Darryl Strawberries, all their stuff is rising. Yep. So you're starting to see that. And as we talk more and more about Netflix and these other TV shows, I mean, we'll talk more about it next week, like with Grendel. But, these are vintage properties that are starting to be used. So it is very interesting what's happening in the market. And I think there's a total speculator market now that's happening, where these are low pop books, hard to find, hard to get in 9/8. People are like, oh, I'll spend $200, $300, $400, take a shot. And if they make a movie out of it, it's worth 10 times that, because you literally can't find any of these books.
Right. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. So what are we going to start with today, Alex?
Let's talk about the Bloodstones and Elsa.
Yeah. So again, this book is from 2001, Alex.
Right around the corner.
Years old.
Yeah.
20 years old. Talk a little bit about Elsa Bloodstone, and why do you think that all of a sudden there's been this massive rise in popularity?
Elsa Bloodstone is essentially the Buffy of the Marvel universe. I hate to use that term because it's, even Buffy was used in other ways, but she's a monster hunter from a long line of family monster hunters. This is a character, the Bloodstone family has been in Marvel Comics for a while. This character was brought about in 2001. I think you see it with the Venom movie and using Ravencroft, and there's been talks about a Werewolf by Night Halloween movie for next year. So, if Marvel's going to go into the cosmic world with all the Guardians of the Galaxy and all that, and having people in space, the Monster Hunter stuff is very easy. I mean, the first big Marvel movie was Blade. I mean, that really helped kick off everything.
So it's all speculation, right?
All speculation, but I mean,
It's
good spec. And this is 2001. You're talking 2 years before it was they were in bankruptcy. They weren't printing any books.
It is hard to believe, when you say 2001 and you say it's 20 years ago, it is hard to believe that, 2001 is 20 years ago.
Right.
So Bloodstone #1, December of 2001, 386 blue label and 4 gold label 9/8. So there's a lot. And it's a $700 book, Alex.
Bananas. Absolutely.
First appearance of Elsa Bloodstone. No variants, by the way.
Nope.
This is pre-variant days, right?
Yeah.
First appearance of Elsa Bloodstone, Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning story, Michael Lopez with Scott Hanna art, and it was a Michael Lopez cover. 2, 3, and 4 are not cheap either. Number 2, January of 2002, 33 blue label 9.8s, 0 gold label 9.8s. That's about $175 to $200 book. Same creative team. Number 3 and number 4 are both listed as double zeros in the pop. So CGC hasn't caught up yet.
Yeah.
To it takes there's a little bit of a
lag
window of time. Yeah, a lag. So Bloodstone number 3 was February of 2002. That's about $150 to $175 book. Bloodstone number 4 was March of 2002. That's $175 to $200 book. So clearly, when people saw the rise on 1 and 2, they started sending in 3s and 4s. We're waiting for that lag to end.
Yeah.
But those books are not cheap. Those books are probably in dollar boxes. As a matter of fact, if you go to comic shows, there probably are not dealers who are on top of it. Look, you and I talk about a lot of stuff every week that if you're not focused, laser focused on
it,
you could easily miss it.
And this is stuff that, like, if you had a full set of Bloodstone 1 through 4, and I'm going through your collection, and you've got the Amazing Spider-Man 9/11 issue, and these I'm pulling those out before I'm actually looking at like anything else in there. I'm pulling the major keys right away.
Right. Let me tell you something. There's so many times where I go to my brother's store at Toy Wiz, and they got hundreds and hundreds of long boxes, and you can, you physically, and it's amazing what you'll find in there, because you'll find a full run of something, and you'll be like, it's crapola, and then all of a sudden, you go back 6 weeks later and it's gold.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny. I can't even go through the boxes. There's so many of them. But all right, what do we got next, Alex?
Let's talk about your old friend Billy Tucci. She
right.
Shy.
Another part of the Bad Girls era, early 90s, Lady Death. We saw lots and lots of them. Michael Turner's Fathom. All those things were hot in Fathom. Witchblade. We've seen all these characters. There's definitely been a resurgence in the prices have skyrocketed on again. Talk a little bit about the character She. It's very closely associated with Billy. We've known Billy for 20 something years. The character has, he's continued to publish the character after so long.
Yeah, every show he's got something to show for that character and that property. Any collector in the 90s has some type of She comic in there, no matter what it is. If it's a swimsuit, it's a single issue, it's one of the Razor annuals, everybody has a copy of it. Character that's been around for a long time. She was a half American, half Japanese, was trained to kill the mob, kind of like that 90s kung fu movie type era. And the characters lasted so long. Billy at every show's got something for you if you're a fan.
Yeah, sometimes you could stick around long enough, like we said with Grendel and some of these other characters, that it comes back again. It's like clothing almost. Yeah. All right. So Razor Annual #1 from London Night Studios, 1993. Only 8 Blue Label and 0 Gold Label 9/8. There are only 16 Blue Label and 2 Gold Label 9.6s. Last 9/8 sold for $1,200. First appearance of She, pinup by Tim Vigil on the back cover. Billy Tucci story, Mark Sasso cover. Again, I don't know why Billy didn't do the cover on it. There's also a gold edition from December of 93. There's only 8 total in all of the grades. There's no high grades on it. It's $80 to $125 raw. You can't find that book. That's the book you got to look for. And again, you'll be able to find She back issues in those dollar boxes. You will. We're giving you good stuff here. We're not just talking about the big Spider-Man, whatever, yada, yada, yada. We're giving you advice where you can go to a comic show and find these books in dollar boxes. There's no question, Alex, that after a year of not being on the road, that these kinds of books that we're talking about today are in dollar boxes. No question in my mind. All right, cool. All right, so it's that time of the week. Alex's pick of the week. What do you got for us, Alex?
My pick of the week is going to be an easy one, but I'm surprised you guys don't own it already, or maybe you did. But the X-Men #1 original Jim Lee art's going up for sale, which is gonna, all pieces. Did you guys have that at some point? I feel like that is
no. Jim never sold it. So back about 30 years ago, when all those first issues came out, my dad secured the Spider-Man one from Todd in a trade for baseball cards at our store. Jim sold the full X-Men one complete, without the cover. I don't know who bought the full book. I don't believe Jim has the original art to the interiors. I think that's sold as complete.
Right.
Because back then you would sell the pages, but the covers would go separate.
Right. Of course.
Nobody sold complete that way. So Jim hung on to the covers. I believe X-Force 1, and again, I'm going back 30 years. It's a long time. I believe X-Force 1 sold complete. There was X-Force, Spider-Man. Then what was the other? X-Men, Spider-Man, X-Force. Was there another big #1, or those were the big 3?
I think those were the big 3.
Those were the big 3. So Jim hung on to it. They expect to get $5 million. I don't know if you're going to get $5 million for the cover. You have to find like a fine art type buyer. It's going to be very, very tough because the comic stuff doesn't generally sell like that. But is there a chance that they'll get that? I do. I believe that there's probably an original art collector out there. There might be somebody who's a crypto millionaire, whatever, that says, hey, $5 million. I only paid X number of dollars for the crypto. That you're seeing that a lot in the collectibles industries with these crazy prices. A lot of them are being bought by crypto type people that made thousands of times multiples on their money. So it's almost like funny money to them.
Correct. Yeah. You put in 20, you made 5,000, and now you can just buy whatever you want. But it's definitely going to be a record setter for sure. I don't know how Torpedo has them, and they're the ones putting them up for auction.
Yeah, they're taking offers. I think they're taking offers.
Yeah.
So I think they didn't want to risk maybe putting it out there and maybe it sells for $1 million or $2 million. I think Jim wants a certain price. They did post a very funny video. I don't know if you saw the video where John spills his dinner onto the reservoir. Obviously that was a reprint. Nobody should get nervous.
Yeah.
I will tell you that, when my dad had sold his artwork through Heritage, they were kind enough to do a 3D replica so that my dad could still hang the same artwork. My dad had certain artwork hanging in the house. So they did a 3D print replica so they could hang them up in the house. Fun. So they look like the originals. Like if they're hung up on the wall, like you would never tell.
Know. Yeah.
You would never know.
Pulled them down.
If you pulled them down and took them out of the frame, you would easily see that they were reprints. But up on the wall when they're 3D printed, you could not tell.
That's crazy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. What do we got next? Yeah. What do we got next, Alex?
A newer book, but from a creator that we've heard his name a gazillion times over the last 10 years. Oblivion Song. Yeah,
it's going to be a Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Yep.
You say Jake Gyllenhaal, you say movie. It's going to be a hit,
moneymaker.
I don't think he has had too many misses in his career. We all love Jake. So talk a little bit about Oblivion Song. How does Robert Kirkman keep churning this stuff out, and what is the story behind Oblivion Song? Why are they making it into a movie?
It's an easy, okay, look, Walking Dead is just a movie about zombies, but it's the characterization that people love, right? This is a post-apocalyptic comic book about, I believe it's Philadelphia, completely destroyed. And this guy, the lead character, Nathan Cole, he goes in and saves people and brings them out of what they call oblivion. So again, very simple, very easy, but the characterizations and just the thought of what happens after a zombie apocalypse, what happens after a bomb is dropped in Philadelphia, if you will, who has to save them. But yeah, Robert Kirkman, idea machine.
Yeah, he's got a knack for knowing how to write it for TV or for film. Yeah, very, very good knack for that. So Oblivion Song, Image Skybound book, March of 2018, relatively new book, 858 Blue Label and 95 Gold Label, 9.8. It's about a $200 book. First appearance of Nathan Cole, as you said, with a Lorenzo De Felici cover and art. There's a collector's edition limited to 1,000 units, 163 Blue Label, 48 Gold Label, 9.8. Those are about $850. Wow. The ones that are limited to 1,000. The pink Lorenzo signature variant, 421 Blue Label, 45 Gold Label, 9.8. That's about a $250 to $275 book in 9.8 and about a $25 raw book. So that book is hot. Jake Gyllenhaal, when the movie comes out, I think you'll see that trend upward again as well.
That's a lot of
All right, cool. What do we got? Yeah, what do we got next, Alex?
Let's talk Toxin. We've mentioned him in the past and talked a little bit on it, but now with the Venom trailer coming out, and there was definitely a scene with Scream, so we know that she's probably going to be in the movie with all the other symbiotes. Let's talk Toxin.
Yeah, this book has gone absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
You can't buy 9/8. The Venom vs. Carnage #1, September of 2004. Again, the book is a 323 Blue Label, 85 Gold Label, 9.8, $400 in 9.8, $100 raw.
Wow.
But that's only a cameo.
Yeah.
It's not a cameo. It's the first appearance of Patrick Mulligan. He only becomes Toxin in issue #2.
Right.
Venom vs. Carnage #2, October of 2004, 140 Blue Label and 34 Gold Label, 9.8. That book is up to $900. It's $450 in a 9.6. So the movie is definitely starting to drive. The trailer looks amazing.
Yeah.
I think Woody Harrelson Carnage is going to be the breakout of the whole thing.
Yes.
I think the Carnage stuff is going to go crazy. I think that's also contributing to the Carnage, Venom vs. Carnage #1 and 2.
Yep.
I think that's also contributing it because the Woody Harrelson character looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. And the new Toxin, the symbiote Toxin, is now attached to a teenager. So, and Venom is also attached to Eddie Brock's son. So you're seeing him getting more young, and that just means to me that if they're going to go in that route of teenagers and children, that the characters aren't going away. That symbiote's staying around.
Right. No, for sure. All right, what do we got next, Alex?
Yeah, Nubia.
Yeah, so this book is absolutely on fire.
Yeah, crazy.
She's got her own new title, Nubia. Talk a little bit about Nubia, how it relates to Wonder Woman, and why do you think this book is going absolutely bonkers?
They've retconned her background a bunch, but essentially Nubia is the twin sister of Wonder Woman in some continuities. And I think in the YA book, Nubia, a real one, she is also a twin sister of Wonder Woman. But she is from the Mascara. She is an Amazon. In some of the comics, she was essentially the first one of the Wonder Woman. When Diana Prince wins the race and the thing to become the Wonder Woman with all the bracelets and stuff, Nubia was one of those. She was in charge of keeping the gates of, I believe, the River Styx closed. And she just kind of bounced around. I mean, she's a character from the 70s, but after Crisis on Infinite Earths, the background changed. Her current background is going to change a little bit, but they're definitely using this character. She's definitely going to be around. She's a new comic book series. She has her own YA graphic novel that sold really well. So it's a character that is definitely coming back.
It's also a very old character, Alex.
Yeah, definitely.
48 years. It's hard to believe because I don't recall anyone paying that much attention to it before this new resurgence. Right.
Agreed.
So Wonder Woman number 204, January to February of 1973, year I was born. 5 Blue Label, 0. I'm not even going to talk about gold labels because this is, older material. There's not a lot of, there's basically no signature series. There are 5 Blue Label 9/8s, 19 Blue Label 9/6s,
wow,
33 Blue Label 9/4s, and 21 9.2s. In 8.0, it's about a $700 book. So it's a low pop book, even above 9.2.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman returns to the old costume. First appearance of Nubia, origin of Wonder Woman and the Amazon race. With the Don Heck cover, it's pretty good cover.
Heck, yeah.
Then 205, 23 9.8s, 32 9.6s, 22 9.4s. That's about a $300 book in 8.0. Diana begins work at the United Nations. It's the origin of Nubia. This time it's a Nick Cardy cover. Interestingly enough, Wonder Woman number 206 from June to July of 73 is her first cover with her origin. 26 Blue Label 9/8s, 33 Blue Label 9/6s. That's a $975 book in 9.8. Yeah. So that's her first cover. It's a bondage cover. As we know, the bondage covers from the 70s are extremely popular.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of them anymore just because of the times and the climate, it just doesn't lend itself to it anymore. But the bondage covers from the 70s are very, very popular books. And that's also a Nick Cardy cover.
Nick
okay,
Cardy,
what are we wrapping up with today, Alex?
One of my favorite indie books, Scud, the Disposable Assassin.
Again, you're talking about the 1990s, another book that's been coming around again, selling at very, very high prices. I think you're seeing it because of the Ninja Turtles resurgence. I think you're seeing it spread like wildfire across the board. I think you're seeing that 100%.
Yeah.
Right. So talk a little bit about Scud, the Disposable Assassin. Do you think it's making a resurgence? Do you think they're going to do something TV or a cartoon with them? What do you see going over there?
I mean, this is a book that's, it's been around for a long time, and just the last 10 years, I think he finally finished the 24 issues that it ran for. But I mean, Rob Schrab is in the TV and movie industry. Like he directs, comedy TV shows and movies and stuff. He did a bunch of directing for Parks and Rec. Like he's a writer. Like he is a well-known, he's like the Tick creator, Ben Undland. Also created a independent comic book, took off, got picked up for something, and then he's in the movie and TV industry. Like that's where he went up.
Let me look him up. I'm gonna look him up. Oh, you're right. He's got a lot of movie
stuff. Yep. So this is like when you think of like Tank Girl and Ninja Turtles and Tick, I put them with like the Tick and Tank Girl world, with like the creators actually become way more bigger than their properties. And in the afterworld. But I mean, there was a video game I played that. It's just a very funny comic. It's a world where you can buy assassins from a vending machine. Once they kill their target, they're supposed to self-destruct. This one doesn't. He maims the person he's supposed to kill, and instead of blowing himself up, keeps them alive. And to pay for the hospital bills, he becomes an assassin for hire. So it's a funny book, but it's a classic and something that is very hard to come by.
By the way, when you look at Rob's IMDb, he worked on Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
You know, he worked on Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Dan Harmon and him also had another comic book and another thing. Yeah, they're very well.
Creep Show.
Yeah, TV series.
He worked on several of the Lego movies.
Yeah.
So you're right. He's rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
Alex.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, cool. So Scud Disposable Assassin, a Fireman Press, February of 1994. 25 blue label 9.8s, 0 gold label, 41 blue label, and 1 gold label 9.6s. That's about a $525 book in 9.8. First appearance of Scud, and Rob did both the story and cover for the book. So, all right. So I think that does it for today, Alex.
A good list.
We had a great time. Any questions, comments, concerns, put it in the field, and we will see everybody next week. Same bat time.
Same bat channel.